It is now time to do the border, and the border will look like this. It is basically just a continuation of the granny square, as you can see. It is worked into 4 rounds. So this is the first round, second, third, and the fourth. The first round will be a little bit different than round 2 and 3. As you can see here, when we are uniting these 2 squares, we are going to do something a little bit different. So I will explain that in a little short moment. Otherwise, round 2 and 3 are regular, just, granny squares, as you can see. And round 4, I will explain what to do. So let's, without further ado, begin with round 1, which will be this one. And this is not the actual color that it should show. This is really a very vivid green, almost like a neon green. Only the camera is deciding to show that like a pale green, which is really not the true color of it at all. But oh well. I will try and take pictures later to show you of the actual blanket as well, because it is amazing. Okay, so let's focus on the border now, and with our number 4 weight yarn, or whichever yarn you're using and whichever crochet hook you're using, we are going to start on round 1, and I will be using my 5.5 millimeter hook. Okay, so I'll pause and let's get started. A little extra note that this is how we're going to work the border. Border, first round will be green. If you're following, the colors that we've decided, of course, then the first round will be green. Round 2 will be yellow. Let's see if I can zoom in. There we are, that's better. Okay, so round 1, green, round 2, yellow, round 3, orange, and round 4, red. However, for this tutorial, I'm going to use different yarns, because I'm using a different weight yarn. I've used those colors for the DK blanket, which is here. There we are. So you see, the first one is green, then yellow, then orange, then red. But this is using regular DK and a 4 millimeter crochet hook. And with my blanket now that I'm using for this tutorial, I am using a number 4 weight yarn and a 5.5 millimeter hook. So for the first round, I will be using gray, and the colorway is silver. So I'll get the yarn ready and let's get started. We are now ready to start on our border. First round, I am working with gray. Okay, so now we are going to work just like a granny square, but round 1 will be different than round 2 and 3. And how so? Is because we are going to connect these 2 squares together. So to do that, we need to make something different. So let's begin. Put a slip knot on my crochet hook, and we are going to join the yarn in the corner of your blanket, and you can join into any corner that you wish. So you're going to join with a slip stitch, and then you're going to do a regular corner for like a granny square. So you're going to chain 3, and that counts as a stitch. That counts as a double crochet. You're going to do another 2 double crochet into that space. Chain 2, and into that same space you're going to do 3 double crochet. 1, 2 and 3, and then chain 1. Always chain 1 between clusters, always, except when you do a corner. A corner will always have a chain 2. So into that next space you're going to do 3 double crochet. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 1. And now we are at the connecting point when we are connecting 2 squares together. So here's what we are going to do. We're going to do a double crochet into that first space. See, we've got 2 spaces here, and we need to make these 2 spaces into 1. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into this space. And now to unite these 2 squares, we're going to do a 2 double crochet together. Yes, it is essentially a decrease. And how we're going to do this is you're going to yarn over and put your hook into that space, yarn over the hook and pull through, and yarn over the hook and pull through too. Oops, sorry. There we are. I'll do that again, in fact. Yarn over the hook and put your hook through this space, yarn over the hook and pull through, and yarn over the hook and pull through too. Now we have 2 loops on the hook, and we need to do that same thing into the next space right here. And now we have 3 loops on the hook. So you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So now we have our 2 double crochet together. And now into that same space we're going to do another double crochet. So in effect we've got 3 double crochet, but one of them is between them 2. It's to unite these 2. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet together, which becomes just a 1 stitch, and 1 double crochet. And we have this, just like so. So I'm going to do that one more time. And of course, chain 1 into this next space right here, which is the middle of the granny square. We're going to do 3 double crochet. 1, 2 and 3. And here where we're going to unite these 2 squares together. So in this first space we're going to do 1 double crochet. Oh, I am sorry, I forgot to chain 1. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into this space. And now once again we're going to unite these 2 squares together. So we're going to do 2 double crochet together. So just like so, partial double crochet, and we're going to do that in the next space again. There we are. We now have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3, and this is a double crochet 2 together. And into that same space we're going to do another double crochet and chain 1. I'm going to stop there because basically you're going to do that until you get to the next corner of the blanket, which will be right here. When you get to the corner you're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into that same space. Then you're going to turn around and do your chain 1, 3 double crochet in that space, and then chain 1, and here you're going to unite these 2. You're going to do a double crochet in that space, and then immediately you're going to do your 2 double crochet together over these 2 spaces, and then 1 more double crochet into that space and chain 1 and carry on all the way around. When you have completed round 1, I will rejoin you and tell you what to do next. Okay, so I have gone all around and I've got 1 more cluster to do in order to complete the first round of the border. There we are, and chain 1, and when you have finished your round, all you have to do is slip stitch on top of the chain 3, just like so. And as previously done with the squares, I'm going to go and slip stitch into the next 2 stitches and into the chain space right here, just like so. And you are now ready to cut your yarn. And weave in your end, and then you can start on round 2. So I will get the yarn. So round 1 was done with green, or whichever color you're using. Round 2 will be yellow. So I will get this and I'll be right back. So for this blanket here, the first round of the border was done with green. The next round will be yellow. But I'm doing a different blanket, which is right here. So I'll be using a different color, which will be this one. But if you're working with the colors that we have chosen, please grab your yellow or whichever color you are choosing, and let's work on round 2. Round 2 is very, very easy, and actually round 2 and round 3 will be exactly the same. Okay, so we will start by joining the yarn with a slip knot in the middle of our corner right here. So we're going to put that there and do a slip knot to join a yarn. So let's start round 2. We're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. We're going to do another 2 double crochet into that corner. One, 2, and we're going to chain 2, and into that same space we're going to do another 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And the first corner is done. And now all we have to do is chain 1. Oops, I'm losing the blanket. It is not easy to film and do this at the same time. Okay. So into this space here we're going to do a 3 double crochet, just like you do a regular granny square now. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. And into this next space we're going to do another 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. And a chain 1. Always do a chain 1 in between clusters, except in the corner where you do chain 2. So you're going to do into this space 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and into this next space you're going to do 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, and you're going to do this all the way around. So you're going to do the chain 1 in between the clusters and 3 double crochet here. And when you get to the end of this row there, into the corner space, you're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, back around, chain 1, 3 double crochet in here, chain 1, 3 double crochet in here, and you're going to do that all the way around. When you're back around here and you finished your round 2, you're going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, slip stitch in the next 2 stitches and into the corner space here. Cut your yarn and weave in your ends. When you finished round 2, you are then ready to start round 3, and the color is orange, but of course it's whichever color you are using. And when you finished round 3, I will be back to show you what to do with round 4. So I will let you carry on, and at the end of round 3 I will be back to tell you what to do next. Okay, on to round 4, which is the final round of this fantastic blanket. So we have done round 1 in, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit, green, which is here, round 2 in yellow, round 3 in orange, and finally the very last round, which will be done in red, or whichever color you are using. I am going to use this color because I'm working on a separate blanket, and that color is called plum. Yes, it's called plum. So let's get started on the very last round. It is very easy and it is very quick to make. So let's see what we need to do now. So I am going to attach the yarn to the hook, and I will be right back to tell you what to do next. Okay, so we are ready to now start on the very final round, and I am bringing in a stitch marker. So to begin, we're going to attach the yarn into any corner space. So I'm going to do mine in this corner with just a slip stitch. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to chain 1, and now I repeat, for every corner is going to be 1 slip stitch into this corner here, and into that slip stitch we're going to put our very only stitch marker. We do need that because you will need to see where this slip stitch is in order to slip stitch when we close the round. Okay, so every corner consists of 1 slip stitch, chain 1, and 1 slip stitch. So we need to do another chain 1 and another slip stitch into this corner. Our very first corner is done. And now what we need to do is a slip stitch into each stitch. So we've got 3 here. So let's do this. So 1. Don't do them too tightly because this is the final round and we don't want it too tight, because if it is, then it might bunch up. 2 and 3. And when we get into the chain space, you do not ignore that. You will put a slip stitch into the chain space. And then slip stitch into each of the 3 stitches here. 1, 2 and 3. Perhaps I should zoom in. And now you're going to slip stitch into that chain space right here. And again, slip stitch into each of the 3 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the chain space. Just like so. It is a lovely round where it just really enhances the border. And you're going to do that all the way across to the next corner. When you get to that corner, right here, you're going to do a slip stitch into this chain space. Then you're going to do a chain 1, which will act as a corner. And into the same chain space you're going to do another slip stitch, and then into each stitch and chain space you're going to do a slip stitch all the way around the border. And when you get back around here to the very beginning, I will probably stop here and show you how to do the end, which you will know how to do, of course. And then I will show you how to end the round and indeed the blanket. So I will be right back, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now I have gone all the way around with all my slip stitches, and all I have to do now is close this round with a slip stitch on top of the very first slip stitch, which is right here. So let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, we are almost done with the final round. Yeah! So let's slip stitch on top of that stitch here. You can now remove the stitch marker. And slip stitch to close the round, and you're going to do one more little chain just to finish off. Now you can cut off the yarn, and we are ready to sew in the ends. So let's do that. Yeah. Let's put that to the back, and the way I do it is I will pick up the other end and I will sew them in together. But of course you don't have to do that if you don't want to. This is completely optional. So let's sew in the end. These are our very final ends. This is super exciting. So I'm going to go to the back, and I'm going to weave in the ends through these purple lines right here. And I will be doing that a couple of times. Just like so. Pull through. And one final time, just through the purple. And now we can cut the yarn. And guess what, everyone? We are now done. Yeah! So I am going to pause, and we will take a look at both of the blankets that they are now finished. Okay then, lovely Derek. So this was the glimpse of, the tutorial bit that we will have. I will put all these videos later on all together to make one whole video, and make a tutorial. So the tutorial will consist of the body of the blanket and the border. As it is for now, this is the border that I've done for my blanket that I've done with number 4 weight yarn. And I will get you the border that I've done for your blanket, which is right here. Isn't it nice? I think the red is a really lovely contrasting color for really the edging. It really sets it off, don't you think? And I really like that edging, that we are doing lots of little granny squares. And then I thought that, the gigantic granny square edging would be perfectly fitting for this, don't you? So anyway, this is our very special project, and believe me when I say this, this is truly my favorite project ever, and that it was with you is just amazing. I hope this is not the only project that we will have together, but I'm hoping we will have more. What do you think? I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm super excited to be exchanging items very soon. Really, really, really excited. Honestly, this is just, yay, amazing. So, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I truly do. And we will talk soon.